So were you lying then, or are you lying now?
I'm incredibly proud of the progress we've made in terms of getting 2 new towns in.
Were you
London.
lying then, or were you lying now? Answer the question.
Assembly Member Georgiou.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, many of the issues that matter most to the residents of the London Borough of Enfield are precisely the areas which you have failed to deliver on and listen to. Just to give some examples, you've imposed more LTNs, more tower blocks, the destruction of Cockfosters and Arnos Grove car park stations, destruction of Cruise Hill and the Greenbelt, a borough-wide 20-mile-per-hour zone, higher council tax, higher crime, and the threat of building on Trent Country Park. Why aren't you listening to the people of Enfield?
Well, Chair, I think evidence of us listening to the people of Enfield is the fact that we've invested in, for example, Enfield schools. Evidence of us, free school meals. Evidence of us listening to the people of Enfield is us investing in public transport in terms of not just the buses and the Superloop, but also in terms of improvements in public transport. Evidence we're listening to the people in Enfield is us invested in making cycling safer to encourage more people to cycle. Evidence we're listening to people in Enfield is our great working relationship with the council, which has led to record numbers of council homes being built. Evidence of people in Enfield liking the way I've been the mayor for the last 10 years is them voting in record numbers for me in 2016, 2021 and 2024.
To correct the record, the people of Enfield didn't vote for you in 2016, they didn't vote for you in 2021, and they voted to be safer with Susan in 2024, Mr. Mayor.
How's that working out for them?
We'll leave that to one side. So, Mr. Mayor, for 6 years, you said that you would protect Cruise Hill and the Greenbelt. You've now had a complete 180 conversion since the crooks that are now in this government took over. So were you lying then, or are you lying now?
There's a lot there to unpack, Chair. So let me
Not a lot. Were you lying then, or are you lying now?
Let me try, Chair. So I'm incredibly proud that in London we've got not 1 but 2 new towns announced by this government they'll be supporting, and one of the new towns is in Cruise Hill. And if you spend some time talking to those waiting to be housed, those in the council waiting list, those living in overcrowded accommodation, those who are underemployed or out of work, they would tell him how much they're looking forward to thousands of new homes, thousands of new jobs, investment in public transport as a consequence of Cruise Hill being one of the news town. And he's an example of one of those people who aren't happy at us being the greatest city in the world and Enfield getting the investment they're going to get. But I appreciate that's party politics.
No, what I'm not happy with is you ganging up with Reform to build tower blocks on the Greenbelt, Labour to build tower blocks on the Greenbelt, the Greens that don't care about the environment anymore, and I don't even know what the Lib Dems are up to these days. My question to you, Mr. Mayor, is you spent 6 years opposing Enfield Labour Council's local plan that wanted to build tower blocks on Cruise Hill and on the Greenbelt. So I ask you once again, mate, were you lying then or are you lying now? Which one? Pick one. Come on.
I mean, Chair, I've been doing this a long time, and his performative loudness and anger is quite a joy to watch and behold.
Well, only one of us cares about Enfield, so I am genuinely angry compared to you. So, were you lying then or are you lying now?
It's like a Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver, isn't it?
Were you lying then? Were you lying then or were you lying now?
So I'm somebody who's...
I mean, I've had worse comparisons than Robert De Niro, but carry on. Were you lying then or are you lying now?
A poor man's version of Robert De Niro, I hasten to add.
And you're a pound shop Ken Livingstone, so I wouldn't laugh too much, mate. So were you lying then or are you lying now?
I mean, I'm incredibly proud of the progress we've made in terms of getting 2 new towns in.
Were you
London.
lying then or were you lying now? Answer the question. You spent 6 years saying, I oppose Enfield Labour Council destroying Cruise Hill. I oppose Enfield Labour Council destroying the Greenbelt. Your own deputy mayor signed similar letters. But lo and behold, the moment we get a Labour government, you sell out on the environment and you sell out on protecting 1,000 jobs at Cruise Hill.
I'm really proud that this government is working with this mayor and the fantastic council in Enfield to create tens of thousands of new homes, tens of thousands of new jobs. And I'm looking forward to making progress in terms of the Great Northern Lines and bringing Cruise Hill under TfL control. And when those things happen, new homes, new jobs, better public transport, we'll be celebrating that, as indeed residents of Enfield will. And I was disappointed, rather than a bit of class, we got crass from this guy from Enfield.
Mr. Mayor, as usual, you took the coward's way out of not answering the question, and the people of Enfield will speak in due course over successive periods and election cycles. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Assembly Member Baker.
Thanks, Chair, and much appreciated for bringing me in. I want to also follow up on you listening to bus drivers on the matter of fatigue, because I think it's really important to be accurate on what's actually going on. I don't think TfL are doing enough on this matter, but we need to be very, very clear about what they are and aren't doing. The Transport Committee arranged a briefing a few weeks ago specifically on bus driver welfare. It was unfortunate that a number of parties weren't represented at that briefing, and it may be why some people aren't aware of some of the things that are being done. But specifically on fatigue, in a number of industries, there are much better ways of rostering that have been developed over many, many years, many decades, that TfL are not adequately comparing to the bus industry to see what could be done better. When questioned, they said that they wanted an external company or an external provider to be doing that work and weren't taking that responsibility directly for them. Considering how much of the bus operations are actually carried out in London, that feels like a failure on their part. And I certainly believe and told them that they should be stepping up. Is that something that you could specifically pick up with TfL in terms of not just waiting for other organisations to do the research, but proactively making it done and listening to it?
Chair, can I say that the point the member makes is so important, not simply because of her concern about bus drivers, but because of her concern about passengers and other road users as well. So can I reassure her that not only will I take this away and check with the Commissioner what's been undertaken, but I don't think we should be subcontracting this in terms of the issue she raises, which is the issue of safety and the consequences of fatigue. And so, Chair, can I take this away, get back to her as somebody who cares about this on actual, not just the producer interest, the driver, but she's right to remind me about the consequences of not getting this right, but also expecting somebody else to reassure us in the way she says. So I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you. That would be much appreciated. And just on that matter, obviously we have a system where bus operators are responsible for that employee health and safety. That's right. That's how it's set down in law. But obviously we do also expect TfL to make sure the services are safe. With your intention to explore further a publicly owned bus company, what opportunities might there be to be able to model best practice in safety on buses?
So firstly, I think the first part of a question, I mean, this is a continuing challenge TfL have with franchisees and contracts, whether it's Elizabeth Line in a different context, the trams or buses, because we're not the people who provide the service. We contract others to provide the service. So the checks and balances are really important. The huge advantage of having a TfL operated and run bus company in sourcing is provides a benchmark. We want to be an exemplar, but also it means we can check whether when a bus operator says this is not possible, whether it is possible or not. We can also, by the way, ensure that, I say this in a neutral way, inverted commas, our people are treated the best they can be in terms of fatigue and the rest, and so others need to rise to that level. And we're making progress, and I hope later on this year there'll be some good news in relation to this issue.
I think that would be really positive. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Back to you, Chair.